Welcome to Wiggly Wiggler's Troubleshooting Your Bokashi Bin. There's not going to be a long video here, Rob, because there isn't very many difficulties with Bokashi composting. But, having said that, you will find a white mould inside your kit. Are you to worry about that? No, it's all part of the fermentation process. If you find black or dark green mould, then definitely something's gone wrong inside that batch, and I would personally start again. But in many years of Bokashi composting, the only moulds that I've noticed are white or cream moulds, and they're a fungus and they are part of the process. So no panic there. In terms of what you can put in, avoid liquids because that's just going to cause you problems. So don't put milk in. Having said that, you can put yogurt and cheese in. You probably wouldn't, but you can. You can put fish scales in, you can put fish waste in. You can even put bones in. The one thing I'd say about bones are they don't really break down. So you need to think about what you're going to do with your Bokashi afterwards. So if you're going to put that in the garden, I'd probably avoid that. There's plenty of other things to compost. So soft waste obviously will completely dissolve in your garden once it's been fermented using Bokashi. Some people use their Bokashi to really activate their compost heap, and you might think, well, how does that make sense, because this is fermentation and composting is aeration. But the thing is, when you empty your Bokashi kit into soil or compost, immediately there's tons of air and this thing goes mad then. So after 2 weeks being in your compost heap with all that friendly bacteria, you won't be able to recognise the Bokashi that you put in. So it's really good for a compost heap, and it's really good in a garden for planting out. The one thing it's not really good for is looks. I mean, it looks rubbish when you're finished. Seriously rubbish. If you're expecting the most friable black gold worm compost that you just sprinkle around your plants, you're in for a big surprise, because what you're going to get is gunge. Yes, gunge. So when you compost your waste, you need to add a good layer of Bokashi regularly. So every 3 or 4 centimetres, add a good layer of Bokashi. Handfuls, good. And what you'll find is as it builds up, you can put more and more in because most of your waste will be liquid, so it sinks. So you can put a surprising amount in. But when you've finished and you leave it to ferment for a couple of weeks, you may be disappointed to see it looks pretty much the same. If you think of this like pickling onions or pickling beetroot, you know that your onions went in, they tasted in a certain way, they looked in a certain way, and when they come out they look slightly different and they taste totally different. It's the same with your Bokashi. Whilst it looks similar to how it went in, the state it's in has completely changed. As soon as you put it into your compost or your soil, it dissipates, and I mean within a couple of weeks. So it's an amazing product. Worth mentioning that you can harvest the liquid feed, and you can use that on the garden. You need to water it down, or it makes a fantastic drain cleaner. Just before I go, I must say, so as you build up your compost, there's a smell. It's like cider making, it's like pickling. It doesn't affect you on a day-to-day basis, but when you take the lid off, you will be able to smell that. So if you are a Mrs. Mop who is obsessed with cleaning, then I probably wouldn't have a Bokashi bin in your kitchen. If you have got a keenness for Bokashi but you don't want any issues, I would put it in your utility room or in your porch or in your garage. But to me, it's perfectly acceptable to have it in the kitchen. Many people have these in kitchens. I don't see a problem with it, but if in doubt, it does smell of fermentation as you're doing the process. Obviously, when the lid's on, you can't smell a thing, but when you use the tap or you open it, that's the case. So enjoy your Bokashi. If you want more information or you want extra supplies, go to our website. It's www.wigglywigglers.co.uk.